everyone, welcome to a new video. This video will be about damage types and explaining about units having that or those damage types, and explaining why sometimes a certain unit works better even though that unit might not be as strong. So just for this video, I've got this picture, I've made it, and it shows every damage type that we have in the game right now. So we got three big damage types, which is burst damage, sustain damage, and area damage. And next to that we've got plasma damage and fire damage. I don't really think there's a good unit with fire damage right now at all. Like the chaplain is the only thing that pops up. Plasma damage, the new unit, the harpy, is plasma damage, and as you can see, the plasma actually gets better the longer the range. So the longer the plasma bolt needs to chase its victim, the more damage it's gonna do. It's very slow rate of fire, but it does have a very high damage per shot, like we know with the better example I feel like was back in the day with the dragons. They were damn beasts per shot. And then it's a single target, it's no splash. That's plasma damage. So those two less important. I mean, not very much in the game, but these, wow, very important. Burst damage, sustain damage, and area damage. So burst damage is effective against heavy vehicles. It has a slow rate of fire but very high damage per shot. It's a single target, but there is actually splash possible, like we know, for example, with the ogre. Their bolt, kind of hits everything around it, just for example. So splash is possible, but very often it's just a single target. The sustain damage is effective versus live vehicles. It's a high rate of fire but low damage per shot. So it's more like a like a gun, an automatic gun. Brrr. That's more like that. It's more like sustained damage. So it's high rate of fire, low damage per shot. Usually a single target and no splash. Actually, almost always. I can't really think of many units that would have both, unless they have a second weapon. I don't know. Like Romero, for example, he did have both. Never mind. And then the area damage just speaks for itself. It shoots in a larger area. Usually it's good against infantry. Slow rate of fire, but the explosion is based on explosion-based damage. Yeah, of course, because it's for a bigger area. A good example are aces, for example. Covers a big area, but also like shepherd, controllers, stuff like that. Multiple targets, and it has splash damage. That's the whole point of area damage. Now I will add pictures to this as well, which will pop up very soon, talking about the units. Okay, here it is. So let's start with sustain damage. And sustain damage, our most important unit is the Vow. That's pretty much the most important unit right now, the Vow. And we've got the Twin Blade as well. So for the defense, for example, against those vehicles, against light tanks, yeah, if I remember correctly. Against light tanks, these are very strong against Corpus in general, honestly, because Corpus has that 20% per shot damage. So against those, you really need sustain. Twin Blade, the new unit, and then as defense we've got the Kraken, and you've got the Pegasus, and as an anti-air unit only you got the boss saws. So these are the sustain damage group of most important units, of course, because the list is longer, of course. Next up we've got the burst damage. Now the burst damage, we have Sarkis, we've got Adam, we've got Ares, we've got Chopper. Actually, Chopper is area damage as well. Yeah, some units are two things at once. So he's also at burst damage because of his rockets. We've got the Absolver, we've got the Destroyer, Cardinal. Most defensive units are there as well, like Owlback, for example. Also, and then we've got the Darkstorm, we've got Ogre, Legendary Hoovers, and as the anti-air unit we do have this Sheriff as well. Next up is the area damage. Now the area damage is often like planes, I feel like. So Aces, Phantom, Shepherd, Chopper is among it as well. We've got the Ogre. The Ogre was also burst damage, so some units can have 2 types. We've got the Hermes, the Legendary Hoover as well, Controller, Gorgon, and as air unit we have the Artemis. Now, you might think, like, why do I need to know this stuff? You really need to know this stuff because it definitely helps you pick out the right unit to do the right base. For example, the Gorgon base is perfect. That's the best example ever to do that. We've got burst damage, which is ridiculously strong. So I've got a tune filled with burst damage. Let's add Darkstorm here as well. So this tune is actually ridiculously strong. Absolvers, Destroyer, Adam, and Darkstorm. That is a very strong plat. But you'll see what happens. So this is the Gorgon. Gorgon is gonna attack me. This very strong tune. Let's see what happens. Do you see that? Like, how close can they get? I mean, yeah, it gets the job done, but it almost hit my tune. Like, what? And that's because 1, it's Corpus, and 2, these units are more like light vehicles. So let's add the appropriate tune that you should use doing this base. The Devout. The Devout is pure sustained damage. They have super high rate of fire. They don't really care about that 20% max damage per shot at all. They will just go through like butter. Like just look at this. Boom, done. Boom, done. And that super strong plat struggled so hard killing one of them, while these Devours just go through, but it's ridiculously easy for them. And I'm pretty sure tune on tune, the other tune would win. With Destroy, with Adam, with all the Absolvers. That tune would definitely win against this tune, 100%. But because of it's the right damage type for the right unit, for the right base, makes it that it's actually a lot better. So the damage type is a very important part of strategy. For example, if you know the enemy base has burst type of damage, then you counter that with, for example, Gorgons. Because, you know, burst is weak against that. So, yeah, it's super important. I can't stress that out enough. Know your tunes, know your units, and know your types of damage, because it's gonna actually help you guys a lot. Like a lot. It helped me a lot. Trying to figure out what units I need to use. I don't need this base, so fuck that. So I guess this was a educational video, because why not? You know, we can all learn, I guess. Hope it was useful. As usual, please like, please subscribe, and I see you guys next time. Didn't even get to